Hi, welcome to Grow New Plants. So it's the middle of April and I'm going to plant some more pepper seeds. So I have a friend that's from India. He was born in India. He's lived here for probably 20 years now. And he travels back and forth to India all the time. And he said these peppers, they're a Yogi Chili Pepper. And apparently they're a pretty popular pepper in India. And he says they're hot, but his interpretation of hot is different than most people, being that he's from India, because they really like spicy food. So I'm going to grow some of them and I'm going to see what they're like. But it's a hybrid chili Yogi, and I did not soak them. I don't think I'm going to need to soak them. They're still really fresh peppers, or really fresh seeds. So I'll show you what they look like too. Show you an overhead shot there. So they look hot. The peppers themselves, the seeds themselves, are bright red, like the hot Cheetos. And I got a 32 cell Rootmaker tray, and I believe I've got that many seeds. I just got to keep it's very windy out today, so I'm hoping that, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make little holes and then just drop them down in the hole. Okay, so I'm just going to try and grab these things. You know what, I may be able to get them with my fingers. So I'm just going to drop them down in there. And so I'm doing these in 32 cell Rootmaker trays, and these are done with my my regular seed propagation mix. And I've got a new video with that, so if you want to come check that video out, I'll put a link up here where you can watch that. So I'm going to make this this is going to be a one-part video. So I'm going to get these things all planted. I'm going to get them watered in. I'm going to put them in the greenhouse, and then once they germinate and come up, then I'll do the second part of this video. So this is a results video. You should be able to see seeds planted and seeds hopefully germinated into plants. So I'm going to get the rest of these stuck in the pot, and then I will come back in hopefully 4 to 6 weeks when I got some pepper plants, and we'll take a look at them. So I'll see you back in a minute. So today, this is the second half of the Yogi Chili Peppers that I planted. I forgot to look. Let's see what they were. 4/17, and I think today's the 25th or 26th, so they've been maybe 5 weeks, something like that. But they're ready to be transplanted up into a bigger pot. Some of them are really nice size, some are still a little bit small, but they should be fine transplanting up. So the friend of mine, that he's from India, and he's the one that gave me these pepper seeds, and so of course I offered him some of the plants back, and he said he wanted 5 or 6 of them. So I'm gonna take 7 of them and pot them up into big pots, and so 6 of those I'm going to give to him, and then 1 of them I'm going to keep. I did that with my tomatoes. I put 1 up to a bigger pot, and then I'll grow it out into a grow bag later to grow peppers for myself. So I'm going to take 7 of them, and the 7 of the bigger ones I'm going to put them into the 1-gallon Rootmakers, and then the rest of them I'll just put in these 4-inch pots that I have that I did my tomatoes and everything else in. So we'll get started. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to move the camera in where you can see a little bit better first. Okay, so I want to start out with going into the big pot. So let's take some of these bigger ones here. This is a pretty big one right here. And we'll lift them out. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not a great amount of roots, but they should be good. And so this soil that I did for the big pots, I kind of did a hybrid soil. I did a half of my normal seed starting mix, and then I did half of my up pot mix. So the seed start mix is 50 perlite, 50 peat moss, and then the up pot mix is 25% perlite, 25% peat moss and 75% bark mulch. So it's got kind of a mixture of bark mulch, perlite, and peat moss. So it ought to be fine, but I just figured there really wasn't a lot of point in using all of the upstart seed mix for something like this, because they're gonna grow out and I think they'll transplant easier. So they're kind of holding the soil together a little bit. The root systems aren't great on them, but it's pretty quick. I mean, these are a little bit longer, or less time than I did the tomatoes and stuff for. So I really think they'll transplant up just fine. We'll go over here. We'll pull. This is another pretty big one here. And same thing, it's got maybe about 1.5 inches of roots going down. So I'm just letting that hold together as much as it will and putting them in. So I think these ought to do just fine. And my buddy, he said these peppers, he said once they get to this size here, he said they start growing like crazy. So uppotting them, transplanting them into a little bit better soil, or to new soil and everything, they ought to really take off. So, okay, that was actually a really nice full set right there. That has a good root system. So I'll fast forward to get these other 3 planted real quick, and then we'll start putting some of them into the smaller pots. Okay, so I got all these transplanted up now. So I got 7 going into 1-gallon pots here. So I'm gonna sit these to the side and we'll start planting them into the 4-inch pots. Okay, so we'll just start going down the line here now and just pulling these things out. Again, not super big root systems, but they ought to be plenty good. And I've talked about this all the time when I'm planting these things. You know, sometimes when you disturb the root systems a little bit like this, for some reason or another, it spurs root development, and the roots really start taking off at that point. Go ahead and put my tag in there on that one. So I'll tell you what, I'll fast forward through a handful of these, and then I'll do the rest of these off camera. And then once I get them all potted up, then we'll come back and take a look at what we have. Okay, so I got them all potted up. So I ended up with, there's 15 in this tray and 9 here. So I got 24 in the 4-inch pots, and then I got 7 1-gallon ones. So what's that, 31? Is that right? 24 and 7, 31. So yeah, so we really only had 1 that didn't germinate. 15 and 9, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, so I did really good. I only had one didn't germinate at all. So that's really a pretty good. I went ahead and planted up these small ones. I debated on whether to even plant those up, but it won't hurt anything. They may take off and do just fine. So I went ahead and planted them up. It didn't hurt anything. So anyway, so I'm gonna let these grow out and give them to my buddy who gave me the seeds. And he's gonna plant some at his house, and he's got some relatives and stuff that wanted some of them too. They're all from India, so it's gonna be kind of hopefully special for them to get some of these seeds or some of these plants back. And then I was just real curious about it myself, so I'm keeping 1 that I'm gonna grow out into a big pepper plant and get the peppers off those and see what they're like myself. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.